Okay, Kathy, we are live now. Whenever you want, we can start now or in a minute or so. It's exactly 1 minute past. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe give me 2 minutes because
Sure.
I'm receiving a few messages from some speakers. So okay, so if you agree, we will start now.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, is it okay, Reza? So
Yeah.
good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. First, of course, I'd like to thank Reza of Institute Tourism for hosting this very meaningful webinar on the occasion of the World Women's Day, which is just an opportunity, because I think this the topic of this webinar is relevant for all year long, not only on the 8th of March or the 6th of March. So what I would like to say first, Her Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I insist on the Her Excellency. This is very important, the Her, of course, and Excellency, of course, and the fact that, we have here ladies, of course, and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, we are friends and colleagues. So thank you so much for joining this session. This is called Empowering and Protecting Women in Tourism. At the beginning, I would say the topic we wanted to address is gender-based violence. And I really wanted to focus on something, and Reza agreed also on something more positive, because of course, violence, whether it is verbal, psychological, physical, socioeconomic, it's a reality, but we need to talk rather on empowerment and protection of women against violence. So to start with, I would like to say that when I was a child, a girl, the first question that I had very early was why. And I had a lot of questions about why boys look more important, especially in my family, because when my brother was born, I felt a little bit excluded. And then, this why was always the main question in my life, because I could see a lot of injustice and inequalities, inequity, and I was kind of upset by many situations in the world that didn't seem normal to me, especially because I realized very early that there are the same amount, if not more, of women in the world, but they don't have the power, or they are not given the power. I think they have the power. When we talk about empowerment, I think it's more like empowerment. We help them express their power. So I would say the question why is important, because we cannot find any excuse or justification for gender inequality or discrimination. And because there are no excuse, I think this is why there is violence. Hi, Dr. Taleb. Very nice to see you here. Very honored. And so that's why, I want to address today not only the why, but also how we can address this why. Because, violence has no justification. It's probably out of fear first, and also because, well, at some point, women have the power, and this power has been silenced and has been minimized for so many years. So I think, especially in tourism, we can see that situation that has no excuse and should have solutions to address it. So that's very important, and I'm so happy that we have great speakers today, and that can share not only their achievements, their action, their recommendation, but also hope for a future, especially in the travel industry, as a model for other sectors, because travel is basically first, before being an industry, a human activity. But now, without further ado, let me introduce Nicolas. Nicolas Hatz is a senior lead consultant and not sustainable, but tourism development expert, but sustainable also, for GIZ, the German International Cooperation Agency in Siem Reap in Cambodia. And Nicolas is also board member of Destination Mekong. I didn't say that, but I'm a CEO of Destination Mekong, and as well another consulting company called Millennium Destination. So Nicolas, I'll let you talk.
Thank you so much, and very good morning, dear Catherine and dear Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Very good morning from the ITB in Berlin, where the heart of tourism is actually beating these days. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are based. It's a very big pleasure to be moderator here in this very important webinar today with Catherine as our chair. It's indeed already from the composition of the chair and the moderator that we want to share with you how important the topic of women empowerment is and women protection is, not only for women, but also for men and in tourism in general. So my name is Nicolas Hatz. I'm senior lead consultant and tourism development expert with GIZ, the German development agency based in Siem Reap, Cambodia. And we are currently having a delegation of Cambodian tour operators to ITB Berlin, which explains why I'm currently speaking to you from Berlin. Women empowerment is something which in tourism is not only a necessity, and sometimes I feel like it is difficult why we need to talk about that topic and why we are not already far ahead of this discussion. On the other hand, it's bringing a lot of opportunities in terms of economic development, but also for innovation, for instance, right? And we are looking into increasing the competitiveness of tourism businesses in Siem Reap, in the northeast of Cambodia and Cambodia as a whole. And we have some very great examples when it comes to women economic empowerment and innovation in tourism through women, female innovation, women innovation in tourism. This is something we would like to share today. I'm very excited to be moderating this webinar together with Catherine, and we have some exciting speakers. Catherine, I think we shouldn't use too much time for the introduction, but hand over right away to actually the first speaker, and I have the pleasure to announce Her Excellency Mrs. Nyan Suchitra, Director General of Social Development of the Ministry of Women's Affairs in Cambodia. She has nearly 30 years of experiences in policy development as well as implementation of national action plans to promote gender equality and women's empowerment. And with her current position, she is managing 3 departments, including the Department of Legal Protection, Department of Women and Health, and Department of Women and Education. She has led and coordinated the multi-stakeholders engagement for the development, implementing, monitoring, and evaluation of the National Action Plan to Prevent Violence Against Women, including Technical Working Group on Gender-Based Violence. Currently, Her Excellency is counterpart with the DFAT funded program, Australia-Cambodia Cooperation for Equity Sustainable Services Phase 1 and Phase 2, which is in short Access 1 and Access 2. In addition, Her Excellency holds a master degree of international human rights law and from the Panay Sastra University of Cambodia. It's our pleasure, Your Excellency, to welcome you to this very relevant panel today. We are just 2 days ahead of the International Women's Day, so we are ahead of the topic. And once again, it's a pleasure to welcoming you. Stage is yours. Thank you for being with us, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. First of all, on behalf of the Ministry of Women Affairs and on behalf of Her Excellency Dr. Angutha Pavi, the Minister of Women Affairs, for giving me the opportunity to participate in these important events. Yeah, it is my great honor to participate in this webinar as a part of International Women's Day celebration under the topic of addressing the critical issue of gender-based violence in tourism, which organized by the Destination Mekong. And I would like to take this opportunity to express my appreciation to the Destination Mekong for organizing such important event, and thank to all representatives, speakers, and participants from all organization, private sector, and also from some land ministry to participate in these important events. And as you may know that annually Cambodia organizing the International Women's Days to recall the women's struggle for equality as well as to reflect the progress, commitment, challenge, positive measure, and achievement in advancing gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls in Cambodia. And when talking about gender equality, we refer to equalized opportunities and treatment of individuals of all gender. It involves the dismantling discriminatory practice and norm. Gender equality is not just a moral imperative, but also an economic and social necessity when women empower and afford equal opportunity in the workplace, economic thrive, business, innovative, and society proper. And you may know that the women in Cambodia have a great contribute to the development of economic development of the country, economic development, both social and economically. As we know that the tourism sector is a key sector for the economic growth of Cambodia, and it's this accounting that about 12% of GDP of our economic growth. The tourism sector is only the second to the government sector with the largest number of women employed in this sector, and tourism bring many socio-economic benefits to the local community, especially a female member of the community, by empowering them economically, socially, or psychologically, and politically. However, tourism provides both opportunity and risk for women. For women, there are opportunities for entrepreneurial activity with small or medium enterprise, along with the opportunity for the jobs. Unfortunately, gender gap between men and women still exists, and women economic sector is still low owing to the social norm that hinder women empowerment. And there is significant risk for gender-based violence in the tourism sector, as well, such as the Madam Catherine mentioned earlier, that there are gender-based violence, including physical violence, psychological, emotional, and also economic violence. And also gender-based violence against women in tourism sector include rape or discrimination, sexual harassment, rape, and other type of gender-based violence. And there is still a limit data on women experience of gender-based violence, but the limit data available so that women perceive daily risk of sexual violence. Women are often in informal employment with limited protection. They are likely to earn less, and are in informal work situation. Many are afraid to make complaint for fear of losing their job. And many women working in the tourism industry work in risky situation with long working hours, often during the night, making travel to and from the work at risk. And therefore, we must ensure the protection are in place and women support it to be safe and take advantage of the opportunity. And to respond this challenge that I mentioned about, the royal government of Cambodia, especially our the new government mandate has stated in the Pentagon Strategy 1 is focusing on 5 key areas. First is on human capital, second, water, third, energy, fourth, road and technology for achieving its goal to become the developed country by 2050. And the royal government of Cambodia has prioritized the promotion of gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls in all sectors in the policy agenda and Pentagon strategy. Through the strengthening citizenship in highly civilized society with morality, ethics, equity, and inclusiveness with women at its core. In this meaning, the royal government will continue to promote gender equality by increasing the investment in gender-related agenda, empowering women and girls in the field of economy, including tourism sector, education, health, and women in leadership to take benefit of gender dividend, increase favorable conditions for women and girls to exercise their rights and prevent gender-based violence. And to do this, we have the Ministry of Women Affairs, we have our 5-year strategic plan. And in our 5-year strategic plan, we have a component on women economic empowerment. And we also lead the implementation of the National Action Plan to prevent violence against women. And in all sectors, including the Ministry of Tourism, they have their own gender mainstreaming action plan. So to address the issue, we are the Ministry of Women Affairs is coordinate with all line ministry to work to promote gender equality and also to prevent violence against women. And the Ministry of Women Affairs is working on women economic empowerment and build the capacity of women skill to women and supporting them for self-employment and also support the entrepreneurial skill to women. The Ministry of Women Affairs also lead a multi-sector sectoral working group to respond to gender-based violence and supporting the coordination between the relevant authority at the provincial and district level through the multi-sectoral working group to respond to gender-based violence to ensure that women are experiencing gender-based violence can seek help and support from all relevant agencies at the provincial level. So far, the multi-sectoral working group respond to gender-based violence is implementing in 9 provinces and 39 districts, and we are mobilizing for expanding this mechanism to all provinces. And also to narrow down the gender gap and empowerment women, the government of Cambodia has set various policy and program, and all all government ministry and agency we have a respective role and responsibility in implementing them. And it is very important for the agency to have the gender perspective to benefit successful in the implementation. And also recently the Ministry of Tourism has launched a new strategy initiative titled Uniting for Collective Vision, with the goal of the evaluating Cambodia global standing as a premium tourism destination. So I think our webinar conference today is very important, and also will support us for the continue to implement our measure to promote women rights in the tourism sector. And we the Ministry of Women Affairs also have developed a guideline for the promote women economic empowerment in rural area, and the guideline have a purpose to practice to guide the practical integrate gender perspective into the planning, implementing, and monitoring and evaluating the activity economic empowerment of women in rural area. And also we have a program experience with support from the JICA. We support the women group in the community based tourism site in Siem Reap province to strengthen their skill in tourism promotion, predominantly by facilitating them the development of their own marketing material, such as local resource mapping and also video, and also provide support skill them to do their marketing their product in their tourist site in Siem Reap province. And also we equip them with the trend skill for the developing their own promotion material, such as how to take the best photo and decide to use the key message for advertise their product. So I think this webinar is very important, and I hope to learn more from other speaker and other country in order to how to prevent the gender-based violence in the tourism sector. Thank you for your attention.
Kuntram, Excellency, thank you so much for your very inspiring speech. It's not a speech, I would say, it's really delivering, the great experience of Cambodia in the field of women's empowerment. And I think that, as far as I know, no country is totally doing the great things, I have to say, but we have hope. It's the idea is that we cannot combat fight violence with violence. We need to be smarter, and we need to address this issue in the most human way. I think it's so we are not here, to lecture people and to tell them what they should do or not do. It's really, a collective responsibility. And I would say also we need women, girls, or any discriminated person. We need to keep hope and faith, because the moment we give up, this is called resignation, and that's the end of the story. So I think definitely there is a long way to go, which lead us to keep asking ourselves why, and provide a very satisfactory reply to this. Not this is the way it is. This is not an answer. So thank you so much, Excellency, and I hope we can meet again in person for the first time very soon. And I really support your efforts, and you can rely on my support and Destination Mekong. So now I would like to take this opportunity to call Dr. Taleb Rifai. For those who still don't know him, because I think everybody knows Dr. Taleb Rifai, but he's the former Secretary General of the World Tourism Organization. And through his term, great things happen and still happen, because he was a great, and it's still thought leader and a person who really inspired my career in sustainable tourism. So Dr. Rifai, are you here with us, or maybe?
I'm sorry, Kathy. Okay, he just checked out and calling me. He will be back probably.
Okay. So when he's back,
the other speaker.
Yeah. Okay. So now we move from Cambodia to Singapore, and we will have a presentation of Dr. Honoris Causa Aziza Jalaluddin. She's the founder of Go Global Accelerator in Singapore and the founder of Conscious Tourism Ecosystem still in Singapore. So Dr. Aziza, let you talk.
Thank you very much. A very, very good day, good morning, and good evening to everyone from Singapore. It's really an exciting moment for all of us to connect when it's, celebrating womanhood and talk about how the inclusivity is possible in today's world. And you know what? This whole dynamics of inclusivity is a conversation we've been having for decades and, even centuries, I guess. So we want to just focus on the celebration. And at this moment, I want to say thank you to Institute Tourism for making this happen for everyone in this month. Especially, your works have been going all out there to the world, focusing on the tourism industry. And I want to say a special thanks to our dear Catherine, who has been holding the fort and, being in the beautiful space of standing for tourism in this part of the world, that she opened up so many beautiful conversations with people around the world. So today's conversation, when I was asked to speak on this topic, and it's about protection, it's about empowerment, I asked my daughter, who's in her 20s, already a mother, and she's, getting back to the workplace. And I was asking her, what is really stopping women nowadays or causing fear or anything like that? And she gave me some answer, so I can speak on that today. And she gave me the idea of what is really happening in the world when it comes to protection and safety and empowerment. So I got this very interesting. So I have one slide that is here on the screen. If you can, narrow down, you can open up and see the screen. In Go Global, we have created the Conscious Tourism Framework, like what our dear Catherine has said. So our Conscious Tourism Framework, that foundation of conscious tourism framework, and otherwise focusing on conscious capitalism, everything lies with the foundation of conscious living. So I thought it very apt to let everybody know this two very important part of conscious living. And that's the intrinsic and extrinsic values that we hold close to our heart, which means really when we want to empower anyone, or rather get people to be inclusive, we want to look at two levels. One is inside the person, which is intrinsic, the values we generate. And then there's the extrinsic, the structure and the system and the support that can be given. So in this particular context, when I was, asking about the protection of women, even in Singapore, my daughter had this to say. She said that there is fear and there's a lot of insecurity when women go to work, and especially when you think about tourism industry, it is a very widespread, dynamics. Getting into the unknown, especially you meet new people all the time. So what is the safety and security that's available for women? And one of the these are the extrinsic values we need to really look at. And I got a suggestion, and this was something also suggested to us, is to create in our solution framework, is to create a women protection division in the organizations. Whenever we are starting any projects, to have a women protection division headed by women who can take care of the women welfare. And in this way, we are really showing from the tourist industry perspective, in organization perspective, that there is such thing that people can go to and create a guideline around it that can really support women and feel the safety. So it's the importance of feeling safe and secure. I'm sure you all relate to that, right? Feeling safe is something every human being wants to feel. So this extrinsic dynamics of creating a structure for people to feel safe is something we should encourage, and in every organization stand forth with. And then there comes the other side, which is the intrinsic. So we can set everything up, all right? We can set the perfect system, get great people to harness it and work together and, do all of that. But that's a very important element in our conscious living framework that we talk about, is the intrinsic value. And what is intrinsic values of the womanhood comes from? And we look at that is, how do we as women stand up in terms of holding our feminine energy? So if this is something new you're hearing, you want to write this down, because feminine energy is right now here to stay in the world. So if you have not harnessed your feminine energy, we talk about in Chinese yin and yang, and in the Indian culture, we say Shivan Shakti. So this element of how you are balancing the feminine and masculine energy in you and in us makes all the difference. And I have been in my journey of the last 20 years, working on this transformation journey, really looking at that dynamics. What is my feminine energy? How is it guiding me? How is it empowering me within me before anyone else steps into my space? So as intrinsic value, when we can harness our feminine energy and really create that sacred space within us, and that's a lot of work done within us, because what are we told normally? Women, in our family, like our dear Catherine started off by saying, and how we grew up thinking that women, men are better and all this stuff. And even our society, our community, and especially, I think it's a global phenomenon. And to overcome that belief systems, those backstories, those chatters in our mind, because right now the truth is the chatter is not outside. Everybody is ready to embrace women for who we are. And are we ready to embrace ourselves is the question. So intrinsic values and feminine energy, when we create that space, we are saying, don't mess with me. How many of you relate to the don't mess with me energy here? It's really that lioness energy that can really hold us together and take us forward. And in any industry that we want to be in, especially in the tourism space, we really want to take care of ourselves in creating that protection. So I just want to end right here. There's going to be amazing conversations on this, different perspectives, and I'm here to listen in and also learn from everybody else how we can take forth in this journey. So I would like you to embrace this intrinsic and extrinsic values of conscious living that can really support, protect, inside out, every human being on this planet Earth. As we celebrate womanhood, let's come together and celebrate humanity, love and peace to everyone. Thank you so much. Back to you, Catherine.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Aziza. Every time I'm listening to you, I feel so energized. It's really, I never had any regrets about being a woman. But I'm proud of being a woman, especially what we call a mature woman. As you said, don't mess with me, especially when you are over 50 years old as a woman, you get the power. So now I would like to call Dr. Taleb Rifai, who is a total gentleman, and I would like to hear you, Dr. Rifai.
Hi. How are you? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you.
I need Riza to email me the connection so I can use my computer. If he can email me the connection. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes,
maybe Reza can help you.
Okay, yeah. Or you can say a few words now, maybe that you are here. If you
Okay. I I wonder why we were talking about women now. Now, women, it's a shame that we still speak about women nowadays. Women should have taken their rights long before that. Now, what does that mean? It means that we are still talking about something that should have been done a long time ago. Women are equal to men, 100%. Women are better than men, some things also. I speak this as a man, myself. Now, what does that mean? It means that in tourism, women play a very big role. They don't just work in tourism. They also have their, they take the decisions in the house as who's to go, where. Okay. I think women are very important in this regard. Women are women. And it's important that we acknowledge this thing. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rifai. We are always, so grateful about your keen support, to women. And, this is really your model for other men, I say. So follow the footstep of Dr. Rifai. And having said that, I will call Daisy. Daisy is in Korea, so she's 2 hours ahead of us. So she told me, I hope I can speak now because I need to take care of the kids. And that's the reality of women. We are multitasking. We are in charge. We are taking care. So Daisy, this is your turn.
Do you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay. Hello. As introduced, I'm based in Korea. I'm close friend with Mrs. Catherine. She's my best friend, and she's really good listener. So I'm really happy to see her in the screen too. Actually, as she shared, a woman is privileged. I'm so happy that I'm a woman, and then I have 2 kids. My priority always my kids and myself. So actually, and then my work is also very important. So let me share my slides a little bit, and then so that I can continue. Okay. This beautiful picture is from Pacific. I actually spent most of my life working for island countries, including Pacific Islands, Fiji, Samoa, and Indonesia and Mauritius. So my actual interest is all about island culture and island women. I was very inspired world women that I work with. They are very wise, and then they actually know how to take care of their house and then kids. So that's one of the reasons I couldn't leave the island countries, because the women are so amazing. So today I'm going to brief about women in the Pacific that relates to tourism. Our topic today is actually discrimination or violence in women in tourism. So let me touch upon this topic, focusing on island countries. I'm sure most of you know Korea is quite developed country, but as you see this chart, income disparity is very huge. Among OECD members, Korea has the biggest gap between men and women in terms of income. And then this is a graph, like also OECD members. Korean women lose their actually job after giving birth, and they have to spend almost 10 years, more than 10 years, for taking care of kids. That's why they couldn't be hired, they couldn't be employed for very important age level from 25 to 45 something. So like many Korean women cannot work during this actually important period. That's one of the actually sad part of Korea, although we are known very developed countries. Actually, I'm going to speak about tourism and women. As you know, tourism is a very important, vital sector and significantly contributes to global economic development. According to WTO, World Trade Organization. It accounts for 5% of global GDP, and which supports 7% of global workforce. In the Pacific region, especially, tourism is particularly significant because there are increasing needs, global demand for authentic culture and natural experience. Because Pacific is known for unique culture and then beautiful beach and then island environment. Women in this Pacific region contribute the majority of the workforce in this sector. Therefore, empowering women in this sector can lead to more sustainable and inclusive growth of economy. So my speech today is about highlighting the importance of empowering women in tourism and how digitalization and boosting creative economy can be a game changer, especially in the Pacific region. Due to the time limitation, let me just focus more on digitalization. Although the women are important, they are a majority player for tourism industry, but the situation was not really positive for those women. First, the economic recession. The cessation of global travel because of economy, the decrease has led to massive layoff. So women had to leave the work. For those women working in tourism industry and to the loss of livelihood for those reliant on it, including taxi driver, handicraft vendor, cleaner, and restaurant workers, those actually jobs doesn't look like tourism. They all contribute to tourism industry, many of whom are informally worker without social protection. In addition, the dependence of Pacific Island countries on external resources means that their spike in unemployment has occurred in concert with rising prices, which made it difficult for people to meet basic needs such as food, health, and house. If you go to Fiji and Samoa, you will be very surprised at the high price of the basic ingredients, including the vegetables. They all imported from Australia and New Zealand. The price of living is so high. And then this economic pressure coupled with increase in care burden due to school closure have put enormous strain on household with a report of gender-based violence spiking. The impact of COVID-19 are also laid upon existing vulnerability of workers in the Pacific region, including to climate change due to the uptake of fourth industrial revolution technology. Most workers in this region are employed in sectors of greater risk of climate change, agriculture, such as agriculture, fishermen, and tourism. With those in tourism already real from the economic impact of COVID-19. As the pandemic accelerates the use of technology for communication and home-based work, Pacific women risk being left due to lack of unskilled level, and then that leads actually traditionalization of job and norm. If you go to Solomon Islands, because of this technology development, many people just go behind. So they have no skill, no internet connectivity. They rather choose to go back to the old days. So they don't. Many tribes do not use any electricity, any internet. So they just live as the tribal life. So this is another choice for Pacific people live in these days. Pacific women are overwhelmingly employed in informal economy, which is also associated with low and unstable income as well as unemployment. And then, if you see this chart, there are, as you see this, women who experience intimate partner violence. There are a very big gap, even the Pacific region, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, they have a very high level of violence cases. And then compared to those countries, Palau, Cook Islands have smaller cases of violence. So even in the Pacific region, there are quite differences in terms of in violence and unemployment level. Depends on the country level. Let me go back to the climate change issue. Not only for COVID-19 global recession, climate change impact very highly to tourism industry. As you see, women are more likely, they are very, very vulnerable in Pacific region. And then the tourism is threatened by climate change in multiple ways, including storm surge, flooding, sea level rise, and erosion affect the coastal destination, as well as an interruption to transportation communication. So as you see the climate crisis affect Pacific country, they are quite sinking namely. So people become afraid of going there. And then you meet a lot of storm, unexpected flood. So that it stopped people, living on the tourism. So if you go to cruises, if you just meet the, sudden disaster, you have to come back and without any paying back. So that's kind of situation happen very often in these days. That also affect the employment level of women in the tourism industry. And actually, those situation is quite applied to everyone, not only Pacific countries. Mekong country also affected by the climate change and actually vulnerability of the women employment. So that's will be a same situation we are suffering from. So two solutions. Not also because we cannot solve this problem for a perfect way, but digitalization is one of the solutions that we can focus on, because that enlightens women and give opportunity. As the pandemic accelerates the use of technology for communication, home-based work, Pacific women risk being left behind due to lack of the skills. But they try to be empowered by support of government, private sector. They learn how to use a mobile phone and the computer to commercialize their products, to learn how to actually learn new skills. That makes a woman have more engaged with commercial sector as well as financing industry. So digital financial service also further increase women's participation in the finance system, allowing them greater control of finances as well. So in this area, government has a very pivotal role in promoting gender equality and digitalization. Investment in training program aimed at empowering professionals in the sector is essential. And the private sector is also important. They can invest in sustainable practices like energy and water efficiency, waste reduction, biodiversity conservation. And then marketing and promotion effort can highlight high-level experiences at actual cultural sites. And then blended mechanism can play also a key role in addressing gender inequality in access to capital. The empowering women in the tourism sector is essential for sustainable development, especially in the Pacific region, where tourism is a significant economic driver. So digitalization also a pathway to achieve this empowerment by providing women with the tools they need to success. And both government and private sector initiatives are crucial in this regard. By focusing on gender equality and leveraging digital technologies, we can ensure a more inclusive and prosperous future for the development of tourism sector. So another solution that I have brought with is a creative economy. It's a kind of fashion word for especially in Asian countries. So reviving the creative economy facilitated by digital marketplace will be critical to realizing an inclusive recovery that boosts MSME and employment for women and the youth in general in regions rural urban area. Creative economy development for the circular economy, environmental, social, and government policy, SDG, and how government can support post-COVID-19 growth creative industry. So digitalization and boosting creative economy can contribute to empowering women and then boosting their economy. Not only like good choice for women, also the economy overall. So one of the things actually we do with in terms of project with the Korean government. Let me share a website. So we are actually operating show you. This is our website that we are operating, Pacific Dream Center. As I introduced it, we developed a creators, women creator in Pacific. We promote what they make, like weaving, the product they're making, like this kind of handicraft one. So we promote these products to e-commerces in Korea. So like Coupang, Naver. So like Korean is very developed in terms of e-commerce markets. So we promote them, and so that Korean consumer can find the value, purchase them from the website, from the e-commerces. So this can be benefit for Pacific women to have a big start business without putting much resources from them because of language barrier and then technology issue. They have a lack of accessibility for the e-commerce market. So this actually project is funded by Korean government, Minister of Foreign Affairs. So this is one thing we actually trying to do it. So we could see a lot of good feedback by digitalization and promoting their culture and through the products. So this is one thing actually we can apply to other countries such who have suffered from this unemployment as well as discrimination. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Daisy, for this very insightful presentation and for sharing so much information about a region which for many of us is quite far, I must say, right? So the Pacific is actually somewhere to the east, closer from the Asian perspective, but more so even from the European perspective. So that's why thank you very much for those insights in the region. And I loved the example in the end where you actually showed how, again, through digital empowerment as well and digital solutions, we can really create a platform to actually share about what is being done and to help promote, these kind of communities and their products. I love the idea. In Cambodia, we're also looking at increasing the competitiveness of local companies. And I'm definitely going to take this as a best practice example forward to see, is there anything that we could do? We are already having a website to feature local produce, but having an additional, let's say, label for women-owned businesses would be very, very powerful. So thank you so much for your insights on that. Really appreciate it. I have the pleasure to announce next. Yeah, go ahead.
I just shared the link that we are promoting, although they are Korean language, you will see the pictures and how we promote them. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you very much. I can see it in the chat on the Pacific Dream Center. All right, I have the pleasure to announce next Dr. Shamiso Nayeka Mahoma, who is a dedicated academic and professional currently leading the Department of Tourism Management at the Kirirom Institute of Technology, KIT, in Cambodia. With extensive experience in teaching, learning, and research across Africa, Europe, and Asia, Shamiso is committed to sustainable destination development, especially in developing economies and rural communities. Before joining academia, she enjoyed a successful career in the travel and hospitality industries, accumulating over a decade of invaluable professional experience. Working in various roles at renowned organizations such as Air Zimbabwe, National Handling Services, and the Sheraton Harare Hotel and Towers, she developed a keen interest in and appreciation for the dynamic tourism landscape. Shamiso's passion for inspiring the next generation of leaders and professionals motivated her to enter academia. She earned a PhD in tourism marketing and has taught at the Zambia Catholic University and the University of Zimbabwe's Department of Tourism, Leisure and Hospitality. Additionally, she served as the head of tourism and hospitality at Livingston International University of Tourism and Business Management, and her global perspective expanded during her studies in Sweden, where she obtained an MSc in Tourism Destination Development from Dalarna University. In her current role, Shamiso has played a crucial role in developing the tourism management program at KIT, situated in the Kirirom National Park in Cambodia. Actively involved in supporting Kiriom Pine Resort, Shamiso is dedicated to contributing to the sustainable development of tourism in Cambodia and the broader region. And with this very impressive vita, actually, we are very excited to be welcoming Dr. Shamiso here in this webinar. Stage is yours. Over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. I have
we can hear you well.
Unstable network. I hope you can hear me. All right. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody, and greetings. Greetings from Zimbabwe. I'm currently in my home country in Zimbabwe, although I've been working in Cambodia, but I hope to be back soon. I'm really honored to be a part of this very important and timely discussion. And I thank you very much for organizing this conversation. Now, I come from a very patriarchal society. And so growing up, I witnessed various forms of gender-based discrimination and gender-based violence in my community and personally as well. So this topic is one that is really close to my heart. And to a great extent, I would say my experiences with discrimination, GBV, influenced my decision to transition from the tourism industry, where I worked for quite a bit, to the education sector, because I felt I could probably make a more impactful contribution as an educator. I felt, imparting skills and knowledge to people from my community could probably in some way help to empower my society, my community, particularly the young women. Now, I think most of us here agree that tourism does have a lot of potential to empower women. But we also agree, I think, that we still face various challenges in the industry. And education has often been cited as, part of the solution. If we train women, if we give them skills, if we educate them, then probably they'll be a bit more empowered. And I think considerable progress is being made in this regard. I think we need to give credit where it's due. We've got organizations, we've got governments, we've got individuals who are working tirelessly to ensure that women get access to education. And in my own experience, learning and teaching in Zimbabwe, in Zambia, in Sweden, in Cambodia now, I have noticed a certain common denominator, if I must say. These are all distinct countries. They have got unique social and economic landscapes, but they have one thing in common when it comes to tourism education. And I have seen that we have more women, but more female students than male students. And I think this is a good thing. I think this is commendable because at least it gives us the hope that, these women can at least, realize their potential when they finish and when they graduate and get into the industry. But when we get into the industry, we still have these disparities. I think we've heard this from the speakers before me. We still have these disparities. We have more women at the base in the lower income jobs, taking up roles that require lower level skills. And to me, that says something as someone who is in the education sector, that, education is important, but it is not a complete solution to the problems that women face in the tourism industry. We still have challenges in the education sector. They are saying that education is the key that's going to help solve some of the problems, but in the process of getting educated, we're still facing challenges. We still have problems of stereotyping. Students still get discriminated when they go for internships, when they go on field trips, when they do field work. There are still some roles that are, that people feel are best done by males rather than female students. We have challenges of sex for grades. And that's a big challenge in the education system, where students, both male and female, but mostly female, are asked to give sexual favors to their professors, to their lecturers, to get good grades, to get good pass marks. And, most of the times, the sad thing is that this is happening who are already vulnerable. A lot of other factors in the education system. And, all these kind of lead to reduced confidence in our students, particularly our female students. They lack the confidence that they need because they are so, they have all these pressures going on around them. Yet we want to empower them through education. And, just a couple of days ago, I am teaching first-year students, and I asked them to do a reflective paper on their motives, why they decided to study tourism, their expectations, their aspirations. And I was really moved by, the young women in my class. I could feel their passion. I could feel, their studies. And what intrigued me most is how quite a number of them expressed that they are expecting to have role models who are going to guide them, who are going to mentor them through their studies and as they get into the industry. And I thought, do we have these female leaders? Are we having such platforms where we have, our tourism students being exposed to role models? Who are the role models for our students? So these are some of the challenges that we are facing in the education sector, but how do we solve them? Of course, one way would be to advocate for changes in education systems and policies. But hey, we all know that's a mammoth task in some parts of the world, right? It takes years, forever. But I think as women in the tourism industry, as women in the education sector, we can actually do something about this. We have this amazing panel with women who are sharing their experiences. They're excelling in different spheres. Women in the audience who are extremely well in the tourism industry. We need your voices in the education sector. We need you to come and tell your stories to our students. How have you reached, where you are today? How did you make it? We need to develop these platforms, more of them, so that we can inspire the young women who are trying to, empower themselves through an education. And when they hear your stories, I think they'll be better prepared to meet the challenges in the industry. I think they'll be motivated. And these are the kind of role models that I think we need, women to women, okay? I think in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is we need to work more as an industry and women in the education sector to help motivate our girls. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chamiso. This is also a very inspiring presentation because, yes, we need models. And I think we should not be shy, as women or even as girls, to speak out and to express ourselves. Even personally, my voice was so low when I was younger, and I think now it is important that we inspire women and we give them aspirations. So thank you so much, and you are doing a great job, and I look forward to seeing you very soon at Kiriram. So now I would like to speak for our speaker, Emmanuelle. Emmanuelle is French, and she actually was obliged to go to Singapore for personal reason, health reason, and she sent me some words that I should read for you if you allow me. So, Emmanuelle is French, so I guess that will be the same accent, even if she speaks better English than I. So now I will be Emmanuel. So good morning from Singapore. First, I would like to thank Catherine, so I'm self-thanking you myself, for organizing this event in view of upcoming Women's Day, which will be in 2 days. In any case, I first want to say that Cambodia is a rare country I know which is making Women's Day a public holiday. This says a lot in my opinion, and kudos to the government, and this is a progressive view in my opinion. I wish I could be with you live, but unfortunately I cannot make it this afternoon. I make a point as a working woman to always participate to events when I am invited, and today is no exception. I guess this type of events give us the time to pause and reflect. Here are some of my thoughts on the topic of the role of women in the society and at your workplace. Since the 20th century, we have been indeed on a trajectory of growth unseen since the dawn of humanity. The worldwide population has just quadrupled over 120 years, and the role of women has dramatically changed. Women entered massively into workforce in developed economies, starting from the First World War. The economies needed women in the workforce to support the growth. I was born in 1969, like Catherine. Yes, for those who are trying to do math, I'm now 54 years old, sorry about the math. I have been part of this generation of women where we had to do it all. Leading a career, having a husband, kids, and at the same time. Sad but true, women cannot have it all as they do, but not think we are at equity yet, which is more than normal, as the fundamental role of women has been to bear children and raise families since thousands of years. We are still living in a society driven by men, and yet both sexes are quite different, starting from physical, with women going through hormonal cycles. I have faced so many unconscious bias in my career, especially when I became a mother, and unfortunately, I do not see much change in this area. Statistics are there to prove it, with data on the number of CEOs, board members filled by women, to name just ones. Only 17% of board seats are filled by women. Think of it. Over 50% of the workforce is made of women. There are still major improvements to make. I was fortunate to be born in France in a loving family and getting a good education, which allowed me to travel the world at a young age and to get a job in the 90s in Hong Kong in the luxury industry. Since then, I led a career in fashion industry as well as luxury industry as global executive. Education allowed me to have control on my own life, and this is one of the main messages I have today for you, the young women in Cambodia and in the whole world. Get an education and keep learning new skills. If I'm not mistaken, the hospitality industry employs a lot of women, over 60%, and I would say even more if we count the informal industry. The fashion industry is pretty similar, with over 75% women employed in this industry. Think of Cambodia itself. It represents about 1 million jobs, an estimated number of 850,000 women who live from it. Now, it is about how we can help these women working in this industry to grow and be protected. Safety at work is a basic right, full stop, period. And this role of responsibility of institutions in Cambodia and in the world to make it happen. Learning new skills is key, especially as many young women were not able to finish high school as they had to go to work to support the families. There is one number which struck me when I arrived in Cambodia, which is the number of students able to go to university. It is estimated that is only 6 to 7% of the population able to go to the university. So it is critical to set up professional education centers and courses to empower young women for their career development. Companies as well have a responsibility to develop their teams, and I have met, a few leaders here who have this goal in mind, and this is reassuring to hear. And my last point for today will be, I am a big believer of diversity, as this is, in my opinion, the success formula for our modern world to build an inclusive and successful society. We have a lot of progress still to make. We are far from living in equity when you think about wages gap between men and women. And this is one of the points of a long, long list. I will leave you there and wish you a lot of fruitful and dynamic exchanges during the webinar. Good day, everyone. And well, sorry, it was difficult for me to read the message of Emmanuel, first of all, because I didn't write it, and secondly, because I lost my glasses a few hours ago. So I hope it was not too difficult to understand. Yes, I wanted to highlight that it's not a matter of being poor or being rich. You can be have the privilege to be born in a rich country like Emmanuel and I, and in some way Daisy too was born in South Korea. It doesn't change many things. Being French, I can tell you we don't have lecture to give to other countries. We didn't achieve gender equality and equity so far, so we cannot brag about that. And secondly, I would say, violence, again, is, ubiquitous. You can find it everywhere. And it's really pervasive in the societies. It can be verbal, socioeconomic, psychological, physical, of course, and sexual. And this is something that we didn't talk too much today about, is sexual exploitation in many countries, tourist destinations. And many times, people close their eyes, keep silent. And I think, again, we need to speak out, and we cannot pretend we don't see things. We have eyes, even if, I lost my glasses, but we can see what's happening, and we cannot accept that anymore, and we cannot pretend that this is a career that many women choose. No, many of them don't choose, to be exploited by men, and in very difficult conditions, especially when even the family members sell them for a very low price, but for survival. So again, let's act, and let's work together and listen. The great story of positive achievement that we are hearing today. That's just the beginning. So now I will give the words to Nicolas for the next speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nicolas, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here. I just had to change my location in the meantime. And indeed, I'm going to introduce Kiran, right? Let me just
Kiran actually cannot join us because he had to go on the field. So maybe you can just explain about his background, and with the hope he will join us later, and then we will have Sotiari instead.
Okay, so I'm gonna do my part then.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And here's the camera. All right, very good afternoon again. I needed to change my location. Apologies for that. My name is Nicolas Hatz. I'm Senior Lead Consultant and Tourism Development Expert for GIZ based in Siem Reap. We have authored 2 studies recently. We interviewed 800 tourists in 2022 and in 2023 to understand why tourists are coming to Cambodia and how long they stay, what is the image before they arrive, what is the image after they depart. We have found some very crucial findings in terms of image change. Tourists do come to Cambodia with the image of Angkor in mind. They leave Cambodia indeed with the Cambodian people in mind. This has very crucial implications for destination marketing and management. And this is something that we are sharing with local tourism providers as part of a larger support program in which we empower local tourism providers with different things like trainings, workshops, matching them with business partners, etc. Myself, I've been working in the tourism industry for more than 15 years in hospitality, aviation, and destination management. I'm now in tourism development, and I'm very excited to be doing that in Cambodia. I'm half Cambodian, half German, which is also why I feel a very personal link towards Cambodia and to less developed countries, motivating me in my daily work. I would like to share with you one best practice example, and we have already heard from Her Excellency earlier at the beginning about the general situation of women in Cambodia. That's why I wanted to really go down on the operational level and share with you about one example from a tourism provider that actually started their business based on or out of our actually program. And this is called CWE Travel, CWE Travel, which stands for Cambodian Women Empowered Travel. When we started with the support program of GIZ early in 2022, we started to conduct a lot of trainings and workshops to actually understand, first of all, the situation of tourism in Cambodia in a post-COVID context. And after, indeed, we had started to do regular trainings, there were some providers which kept coming back. And indeed, one of those providers is Hong. And Hong met 3 other ladies during our events. And that became a power team of 3 women, which were interested in tourism, which were passionate about tourism, and which actually decided to start a company. I would like to go a bit into the different topics along that journey, because what we realized is that number 1, motivation is the key. But how can we stimulate that motivation? And I like what was said earlier in terms of the relevance of education, because through education, indeed, we can motivate potential providers to actually go into the industry or stay in the industry. In this case, we motivated providers with the relevant topics to start their own business. They decided to start CWE Travel, and they had not had this idea before. So empowerment also comes from motivating actually interested stakeholders in the tourism industry to say, hey, this is possible. This is something you can do. Believe in yourself, right? And if I believe in myself, I can find out how to actually do it. They came together, they received our support, we guided them, and they are now here at ITB actually with their program, which they created from scratch. I'm going to share my screen for you to see actually the flyer that they have created. And this is something which is very unique. They have a very clear USP. They have a very clear message, which is all of the tours include a professional female tuk-tuk guide, a tour guide, female tuk-tuk driver. And this is taking actually the topic further than just being a female-led tour operator. Why? Because they are also looking at the community and are trying to include along their value chain other female businesses. There is an association of tuk-tuk drivers, of female tuk-tuk drivers in Siem Reap, which was created by one tuk-tuk driver lady who felt discriminated by her male colleagues. And this female tuk-tuk driver actually teamed up with other female tuk-tuk drivers to say, being a tuk-tuk driver does not necessarily require to be a man. And this is what Dr. Taleb said earlier. Men and women are equal. Women are even better than men, doctor, right? And this is why this lady said, okay, let's team up somehow. If we are just one female tuk-tuk driver, maybe I'm being looked at a bit differently by my male colleagues as compared to being in a team, in an association. So they even developed it further, founded it from a grassroots level, founded their own association to represent the interests of female tuk-tuk drivers. They even went further to support themselves if children are actually sick in terms of education, in terms of, let's say, some sort of insurance kind of approach, mutually, which is an amazing example of how really from the grassroots level, one person can make a difference. Our Hong is now working with that association in order to make sure that all of the tours have a female tuk-tuk driver. And then Hong is also including female tour guides into the tours that she's offering. And this is a very great example that really you can start from the grassroots level to start an amazing business. However, we also need to talk about the contextual factors. And this is something which in Cambodia we have encountered to be very difficult. Number one is that tour operators will need to deposit $5,000 at the ministry in order to start their tour operating company. And this is now the situation where Hong with her colleagues is currently at, to actually say we don't have those $5,000, right? And that's a very big hurdle. This is something that we have already addressed with the Ministry of Tourism to say we need to bring down that hurdle, especially when we talk about female entrepreneurs in tourism who want to start their own business. So what I'm trying to share with this example is that in Cambodia, we have a lot of great, let's say, approaches, but they will reach a point where we need the public sector to also come in and change regulations in a way that actually tourism companies like Hong will receive some support in order to start their business. There are different mechanisms which are possible, but in that case, again, there needs to be a combination of all stakeholders involved in order to really move that topic forward. And that's just some very small example from Cambodia, but powerful one. Hong is currently here at ITB in Berlin, and for her it's really exciting. She was never out of country for so far away before. So yeah, that's something we are very proud to feature, and which I'm also gladly sharing here in this round. So that's from my end, just some example from our work context with GIZ in Cambodia, and I have the pleasure to, as a moderator, be introducing the next speaker as well, following me, and this is indeed Sotiari Yim, psychotherapist, peace and conflict consultant, founder and CEO, an accomplished psychologist, organizational coach, and peace builder, creative facilitator, and dialogue on various topics, including teamwork, relationship, and well-being. And Sotiari's work is at the intersection of trauma, healing, and reconciliation with a specific focus on resilience and growth. Sotiari creates Sneha Center, a space for people to meet with therapists, professional coach, and peers to find the intersection and connect the crisis with healing and reconciliation so they realize and utilize their full potential. Working through 19 years in her field of work, Sotiari earns a lot of knowledge and experiences in interacting with people and their unique stories. Every story she heard inspires her to travel, to bridge, and to connect. And Sotiari was very instrumental in producing a comprehensive guidebook called Understanding Trauma in Cambodia and other publications. Being brought up traditionally, one of the most passionate work she is doing is to address the gender bias and discrimination, advocate for equality. Her strong view, commitment, and action inspire many other young women, and education and experience have brought Sotiari to be unique in her leadership and her conflict transformation skill. Quote, "There is no peace if women are not taken seriously." And with this very powerful quote, may I invite Sotiari to please come on the virtual stage. We're glad to have you here. Welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicholas. Do you hear me? Everyone hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great, great, great. Thank you for a very long introduction, but good also to hear about myself again, and great and honored to also hear and learn from all the speakers. Okay, I worked here. I would say I use the word, I have the activism in my blood. And the activism is from being brought up as a girl, not just as a human being, but as a girl. So I result in working to protect myself as a woman, and also for a more peaceful humankind. And I envision to see a place where we all happy to live, regardless of sexual identity or gender. We are all human beings, we are all humankind. Yes. I will just go very quick to tell what is NAHA, but Nicholas already mentioned it's a Center for Psychotherapy and Coaching. I created this because I had to prove that women can lead. I'm sorry to say that, but some people, when I talk to some of my male friends, they said, "Why do you need to prove you're strong and powerful, and being a woman you can lead? It's exhausted." Some people say that, and I say, "Well, I need to prove because we are not being valued enough in our work." So yes, most of my work are supporting women. This doesn't mean I am biased, only working with women, but the way I talk, I am who I am, and the way I talk is a lot inspiring younger women and women. So I'm not trying to be the voice for them, because people has different voice. But I voice myself, so it can also be a, what is the word, magnetic of other women to join the platform and to join the space. Our model in working with women is beyond empowerment. We support her empowerment process, because sometimes I hear a lot just about let's do this, let's create this project to empower women. But for me, that's not enough. Our work is to work with the women. As Nicholas mentions, I like the word, thank you for that. It's believing. We work with women to believe in herself, so she can also shine from inside. She can lead from inside, and she can protect herself from inside. We cannot just sit and wait for others to give us light to shine. We cannot just sit and wait to be protected. We cannot just lead and wait to give a position to lead. Yeah. Allow me to share a story that's really related to what Catherine mentioned earlier about sexual abuse at workplace. 2 years ago, I had a client. I had often regular clients, but clients that remind me, I pick up her story. 2 years ago, there was a girl, CH, I create her name. She came to me with a very depressed and anxiety, come with depression and anxiety, problem sleeping, problem working, problem concentrating in her school, feeling angry, hate, and scared of men at home, men at workplace, at school, and men in the public space. As a trauma therapist, I look into why. Some months before she came to me, she lived with that symptoms and disturbance. She worked with one pharmacy that located alongside the river Phnom Penh, a very touristic, attracted back to Dosia. In one evening of her work, 6 to 6:30 p.m., there was a white guy, age around her father's age, came in to get medicines and grabs her buttocks. Because, and that moment she was really frustrated, but as a Cambodian woman, she's not really stand up for herself and fight, but she was really angry, has no power to argue with that tourist. She talked to her male manager, and her male manager said, "What? You lose nothing. Just a normal guy grabs you and touch you. You don't lose anything. So why are you mad at this and this and this?" It was difficult for her, because she expected a support after being reported on this situation, but no, she didn't. Yeah, it was treated also worse. second victimizations, I would say. So she tried to continue working there, but then she cannot continue due to so much painful living in this discriminations and sexist office. Another just very short remind me also from education sectors. Some of my clients, it's not just one or two, but some of my clients who love study tourism, who end up with different fields and love tourism, said to me, I couldn't finish my tourism, my degree in tourism because I was told that I'm not beautiful enough. This is also, for me, it's very sexist and discriminating as well. This is, again, a real story, and want to echo to you who are working closely in the field of tourism. So again, I won't have the themes for this year is invest in women. So I really want to advocate for invest in women to in her journey of empowering her. We often claim inclusions or inclusive society, but again, we cannot achieve it if it is reach the standard of that word. If women, and especially the mental health and harassment and all of this, if women are not taken seriously in a way that we just say it, but not doing it. Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you so much for this meaningful contribution, Sateri, and good to see you virtually after we met in December, right?
Yes.
So hopefully we can meet again soon in person to continue the discussion.
Yes.
I think especially in countries like Cambodia, and that's one thought I would like to add here. And from my research, from my own PhD, which is in the area of innovation in tourism in least developed post-conflict countries, we are experiencing additional very challenging contextual factors that actually indeed make the whole development more challenging, because we are talking about post-conflict countries where the educational system as such has maybe not fully recovered, and where trauma is not solved and passed on to the next generation. So this is an extremely challenging context in which the whole topic can be set. And I would like to add that because from the findings indeed of my own research, we have found that contextual factors like education, health, hygiene, safety are playing crucial roles in determining that whole process and progress. I have the pleasure to announce our final speaker for today's webinar, which is Sopani Mao, and it's a very personal pleasure, Sopani, to be introducing you. We have been working together for many years now, and Sopani was born in Cambodia, graduated with a bachelor's degree in sociology at the Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. She has over 9 years of professional experience working with young adults at various NGOs. Her roles have included social work management, community development, education, vocational training, professional counseling, and social enterprise business management. Sopani started with ECPOC in 2016 as a social department supervisor. Later in 2018, she was promoted as deputy director in charge of the social and education departments. And recently, Sopani is the director of Spoons Cambodia organization and in charge of the overall management and operations at Spoons Cafe and Restaurant with, by the way, very amazing food, Sopani. With the passion to fulfill the mission of providing quality education and decent job to underprivileged Cambodians, underprivileged youth in Cambodia, she and a team of 17 Cambodian members stayed together to run the non-profit organization even during the COVID-19 pandemic, while continuing the legacy of ECPOC Mission, the international charity, since 2009. To date, Spoons Cambodia organization has helped more than 400 young adults launched their hospitality careers. That's a very impressive number. Sopani, welcome, and stage is yours. Thank you.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay, so good afternoon and good morning for everybody, and I'm very honored to be here today to discuss regarding to women empowerment and protection in tourism. A little bit excited, and I would like to share a little bit my background. You imagine back to 25 years ago in Cambodia, one village, remote areas next to Vietnam borders, and one family have 7 kids. We can survive family by growing crop, and day by day we catch fish and pick vegetable from the rice field. And we have only one bicycle for 9 family members for transportation. And 4 kids need to go to school. And in the same time, so mom need one bike to transport to work to survive for kid education and rest for us 3 other that very young age. And what shall we do? Yes. So my elder sister need to drop out school at grade 7 secondary school because of she need to taking care of my younger brother and sister. And my 2 elder brother and I walk 7 kilometers every day, go to secondary school and high school. We don't have enough food per day. It's normally. And yes, our singles buy is very challenges. It is very big challenges in our family regarding to transportation, and both our limitation, resourcefulness, and it's a little bit less hope and dream to be like higher education, isn't it? So yeah, of course. So education, when we talk about that, it's very scary for us as a poor people, as a poor family, and we lack of resources. So this is a little bit difficult for us. Yeah, so what we should do? So we believe on education, what my mom always told me that even though we are poor, education opening up the door to for you to see the world, and every step of movement become like very challenge, far from school, lack of resources, lack of material, lack of clothes, to working hard and inspiring at education, and sometimes get us very hopeless. And but one thing that we believe education is will be bring us better. So every step, every moment, we believe on education. So that's why it's never stopped me and my elder brother about education. And then my family very patient on it. So they are sacrifice and make us louder on education. Yeah, so that's why I am here, stand in front of you, not just only a daughter that's village, but as a director of Spoon Cambodia. Here we witness stories about similar minds, and we unfold daily, and young woman was born in it, and by circumstance. So that's why we would like to open the potential through skill training and education. We empowering them by break free from the cycle of poverty, just as I did at the moment. So highlight regarding to Spoon Cambodia, what we are doing. We building hospitality career empowering futures. At Spoon Cambodia, we are actively working forward this solution, our program with Empowers, which is Nicolas mentioned about over 400 young people, and 6% of the women are graduated from our vocational training for 12 months. And we include them with also life skill, English program, women initiative program, women right, which is I started this project for 30 women that they are with us right now. And we also provide them with soft skill, preparing them for a great attitude at 4-5-star hotel job placement. And of course, 100% of students graduate from us. And right now, over 95% of our students, they are working at 4-5-star hotel. This is the impact that we investing with the women education. Yeah, you know, from my side, since I working with tourism. So I can see regarding to my previous speakers, she mentioned, I really love it because in hospitality, sometimes a little bit biased to women. I give you example. In the kitchen, when they are looking for cook assistant, and they always looking for men, and sometimes they give prior job, they give to men because men more stronger, men has more like power and energy to release the heavy thing, and then so if between girl and boy graduated, and then it's available boy, of course they choose boy go to this position. Even though I&B team sometimes, most of the time, that it's a little bit like required to young men rather than women. Of course, it's not just always everywhere, but sometimes just highlighting regarding to about job placement through the experience of us. Yeah, and as well as regarding to the training, so I can see, but when we do home visit and remote areas, normally between young girl and young boy, it's normally boy has in more prior go to access education than women. That, like I say about my elder sister, she had to stay at home to taking care younger brother and sister at home. Instead, allow me and my elder brother go to school. So that's why now our lives very different between my elder sister and myself. So my elder sister just stay at home, look after her kids, and even though she have a good, better family situation, it compared to 25 years old, but she could not access more education because she could not have like more role in society. So this is the way how we can see between one woman access education and one woman could not access education. So that's why I believe regarding to Spoon Cambodia organization, which is implement, we believe that we give priority to young girls who drop out school very young age, just write and read Khmer, so they can come through our training for 12 months. We equip them, they stay with us, not just only strong with vocational training skill, but she also strong with her emotional support. She also confident, independent, and we also train them how to survive herself and how important to have financial support by herself. And even though I try to train them believe themselves that even though you married and then you get children, so don't stop working and then keep find another solution to taking care of your baby. Instead, you just stop working and stay at home, and then no finance resource, no income, so you will feel like you less power in family. Power here, I don't mean that it go to fight and challenge with husband, but about economic power. You can survive yourself, you have income, you can have like independent on financial, what I mean. So this is the way that we train our students through 12-month program, not just only vocational training skill, not just only a life skill program, but also empowering women after from us independent working, and even though she married, so she have to continue her job. This is the most important thing. Yeah, so this is, I believe today that women in tourism is still more and more involving. And for me, as a non-profit organization, which is support to disadvantaged young people who from really remote area, we trust that we're going to contribute back to society and then bring the generation, especially young women, to more in hospitality. And then we train them and make them know how to know how to work in hospitality, how to analyze is a good touch and bad touch in workplace, and see they can open freely to talk to manager, supervisor to protect themselves regarding to embarrassment, or the protection them from unsafe places. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sopani. We are friends.
Thank you.
I tried, to be objective, but really, I visited Spoons many times, And I think that women and men, girls and boys at sports look happy. What I want to say is that, personally, as a woman, but I think it's the same for many women, we are experiencing and absorbing pain all the time. And we transform this into pleasure and satisfaction. We want to please people. We always want, to be a nice wife, a nice employee, a nice girl or woman. We want to be accepted by the society. And sometimes, it creates frustration. So I think, being exposed to you, being with you, Sopani, is really inspiring. I think you are really a role model for those girls and women. You need to show them that they can definitely, satisfy the guests and have a, fulfilling jobs without compromising themselves. They can be proud of them. They don't need, to do things that they don't want to do, and they can be empowered. So that's really, what we want to do. The conversation we want to start through this webinar. I know it has already started, but not only empowerment, but also protection against violence, because this is not human. I think we are all better than that. And as a conclusion, I would say I'm surrounded by wonderful men. It's not a matter of gender, it's a matter of abuse of power. And thinking that women should stay silent, and nobody should speak out because we don't want to bother power. So this is not the rules for this world we want. So thank you so much for being here with us. And I hope there will be more. And thank you so much for being part of this journey. Thank you, Nicolas. I give you the last words.
I'm sorry.
It's my pleasure. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nicolas. We have one more last speaker, Miss.
Oh yeah, true.
Faro,
sorry about that.
That was the last minute. So maybe she can talk now, and then Nicolas.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, everyone. Greetings.
With pleasure. Hello.
Hi.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Loud and clear?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Greetings, everyone, on this International Women's Day, and also to the Honorable esteemed Mr. Talib Rifai. It's nice to meet you again. I always look forward to see you. And my name is Afaro. I'm from Bali, Indonesia, but originally I'm from Singapore. I have been in Indonesia for almost a decade now. I am a global politics and public policy advocate, and as well as international business. So I'm proudly identified as a feminist, and I can explain why. Well, over the years, over the last decade, in my past, I've been identified as a revolutionary. I have led a revolutionary radical feminist movement, which brought me into deep trouble. But before that, I was in the corporate world, and I was serving as well the Chief Defense of Singapore. I hope I won't get in trouble, but I will not go into details. So I served this military lieutenant general, and from that experience, it has left me really traumatized as well. And that was one of the reasons I founded a feminist group, because I just, I wanted to emphasize on violence. I wanted to empower women, but it was very radical. And let me get into this. And I was raised also as an Arab. My mom is like half Saudi, and my grandfather was a diplomat of Saudi Arabia to Singapore in the 1970s. My father is from China, and he was actually relocated to Asia, and he was so poor. He was so poor, and he founded his own entrepreneur company. He founded his company, and he was also revolutionary. And until the day he died, as I honor him, until the day he died, this entrepreneur, self-made entrepreneur and revolutionary, gave back to the community. It was him. It was him, and he founded the whole street of Joo Chiat Road in Singapore, and he fed the poor. Until the day he died, he fed a Vietnamese family of three kids, a single parent, until the day he died. Okay, so I had all that ideology from him. But of course, being in a capitalist society, being, in Singapore with laws, I'm not, this is something out of the ordinary. So all my life as well, I have been brought up and raised by an Arab patriarchal culture. I grew up with gender violence, inequalities. I was very repressed. And although my family were educated, I really grew up and I suffered. I suffered all my life. So during my tenure with the Chief Defense of Singapore, I felt I was really lost, traumatized. So I would self-medicate myself. I was suicidal. And then one day I just left everything. I left everything and I went to Bali, Indonesia. I was looking for this healings, eat, pray, love kind of. And that was when I found an indigenous leader. I had many spiritual retreats. I went to all these spiritual retreats and I attended a couple and I still didn't feel like it helped me mentally. So one day I attended this retreat. It was so basic. And I saw this black guy and I was like, wow, he looks so scary. And he reminded me of my brother who hit me. My brother's actually one of the police officers in Singapore. And I hated him. But he kind of helped me so much emotionally, spiritually. So I attended one of these meditation, the wellness retreat. And I felt I was cleansing, I was healing. And then we spoke. It was in a very participatory environment. So we were open, and also, of course, he respected my privacy if I wanted to talk and heal in private. So I went on a mentorship with him, and this should be in the policy. So I from nothing to something, I've been mentoring with him for a decade now, and I've been healing, and I'm still healing. His word is underrated. Like, he's so quiet and humble. So I'm
sorry, Miss Farah, would you please keep to the subject that you sent me? So women empowerment.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Elevation.
Anyway,
that's important things because we have.
I'm going there. I'm
Okay.
scared to that.
Because we will add that to the website so people can read that. So just focus on that presentation.
I see. Okay, so from this indigenous learning and healing and this wellness retreat is that how we empower women, and all our women, all my friends, all the women in the group actually became something. We became someone now. I have 2 lands under this. I work with the right mental wellness, space. I was able to study and complete my academia. And you know what? So this, as my dream has always been to serve in the United Nations and multilateralism. That has always been my dream, Mr. Talib, if I take notes. Okay, so I would like to say that my initiative, which I have actually, the policy is all more about a path to wellness, empowerment, and poverty alleviation. Because this program, right, has the potential to affect you cellular. It's called the Kundalini chakra activation. Okay, it's spiritual, it's not religious. Okay, although I'm Muslim, or sometimes I can identify myself as Christian, I believe in spirituality and how it has impacted all the life, mentally, physically, emotionally, and also financially. So in my policy, it says a feedback loop, okay, where community and women can be empowered through this wellness program. Okay, through these retreats, women can take a time off to recharge, to restore, to attain your equilibrium amidst the hustle and bustle and globalization. Okay, and from there, from recharging and from restoring, you can think better, you can act better, you can lead better, you can be agents of change, right? So I feel like in the tourism sector, wellness is what is going to propel us forward, and especially in the women's empowerment and to eliminate poverty, which is the systemic root of this harmful capitalism, right? So our social impact wellness program, the PDF is on the website, and in my feminist policies, I have introduced poverty alleviation and exemplified this methodology through leaderships with indigenous. Through indigenous advocacies, we can really heal. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Mr. Talib Rifai. Bless you. And bless you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Very much.
Okay,
All
Nico.
right, thank you very much. Yes, then if I may take over again, thank you very much for this additional contribution that was also very insightful from an additional perspective in Singapore. Thank you so much. I'm gonna reshare the screen just quickly to once again. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. I was actually chatting with Catherine to coordinate if everything is going smoothly, which it is. So we are coming to the end. This is okay, having some issues to share, I think. Oh, I wanted to share the poster
No, you know
again.
all our secrets.
Yeah. No, it's not too much secrets. Don't worry. It's just the regular
Don't worry,
coordination.
the poster will be on the website permanently, so no.
Et voilà. Okay, so we had Her Excellency Nean Sachitra, we had Dr. Aziza, Miss Daisy, Dr. Shamiso, Miss Sopani, with Miss Soteri, and Catherine as chairwoman, myself as a moderator. Apologies for the technical issues to share the screen. I just wanted to share the poster again to appreciate everyone's contributions. This has been really very insightful and very meaningful. I actually brought a surprise guest at the end, which is off the records or off the protocol, but Hong is with me. I found her. She's currently here at ITB. And she is the one from whom I presented the flyer earlier. So Hong is gonna just have a very final thought and statement to actually encourage the topic of women in tourism. You would need to speak into that mic. I'm handing it over to you.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm Hong, so I'm really pleased to have a chance to join and also leave a statement where I'm working with as well. So for me and for my team as well, we strongly believe that women will be the equal potential workforce for the tourism economy, especially promote their own country destination into the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hong. I think this is a powerful statement at the end to say women can really help promote their countries, their cultures, their communities around the world. We've seen some very great examples today. I would like to invite you to please take a very final 2-question survey. This is a survey we are currently running to understand, number one, what are the 3 biggest challenges in tourism? Number 2, what skills, what inner skills, abilities, and development do we need to address those challenges? It's here in the chat. 2 questions for positive change. We would appreciate your participation after this webinar, and I have the pleasure to conclude the webinar. Thank everyone for their most valued contributions and also for their attendance. We are now at noon in Europe, so everyone in Europe, enjoy your lunch. Everyone in Asia, have a great dinner. The ones joining from the Caribbean and from the other direction, have a great breakfast. Everyone have a great day. Thank you so much for joining, and bye-bye from Berlin for now.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Nicolas.
so much.
Yeah. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you very much.
So thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much.
everyone. Yeah, it was a
Bye-bye.
very valuable meeting, and I hope we meet again and keep your positive energy alive, and together we can achieve great things, men and women together. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you
all
so
the
much.
genders.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there
Thank you,
are any
Reza.
questions, anybody want to say something more before we leave, or questions, or?
If you want to stay, feel
Yes.
free for a while, and we can address your questions, no problem.
If not, we conclude the session. Anybody want to say something? Any questions?
Yeah. How
Yeah.
can we connect with Mr. Talib Rifai? There's so much.
He has a page on our website. You just click contact and you will send the email to him directly.
Yeah, I have.
Reza, you have his contact, right?
Yes, I do.
I want to send him my think piece and my policies.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would like to highlight that all the bios of the speakers are online, so you can check them later with the contact details. And well, you know, you can also reach me anytime. So, and I hope we continue the conversation because, you know, it's not only about Cambodia, of course, even if Cambodia is a great model for other countries, but it's all about the whole world. So I don't know what to add, especially that, well, I never had any regret of being a woman, you know, so we need to enjoy the fact that we are women. It's not easy, but, you know, no pain, no gain. It is at some point a little funny, but let's enjoy, you know, let's try. And I'll be here for all of you guys and girls.
Thank you so much.
I wish you a Woman Rights Day ahead, just 2 days more. So wish you all women around the world.
Yeah, see you very soon.
Thank you very much for
A great Women Day.
Thank you, Her Excellency.
Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.